Hello and welcome to my Dream SMP Christmas DIY tutorial. I realised that there isn't a lot of fandom Christmas DIY videos on YouTube, and the ones that are quite old, and older me 2017, and I thought I might make more of a recent one, and I thought what better than to make one for the current fandom that I'm in, which is Dream SMP. And before we start, make sure that you're subscribed, because only a small percentage of people are subscribed, and if you really enjoy these videos, then you definitely want to subscribe, because I'm planning on making some more in the future. Possibly some gift ones and even a Genshin Impact themed gift video. So if you're looking for them, then make sure to subscribe. Anyways, let's get on with the tutorial. Okay, so first off, we're going to be starting by making some clay models. Ooh, look at this camera angle. Also, this was a nightmare to set up. I don't know how to do this angle, so yeah, here it is. To make these, I bought this polymer clay set thing. I've linked it in the description. It's just from Amazon and it's really good. And it came with a bunch of colors and I just used them. I recommend getting a set because having loads of colours is very helpful. Firstly, we're starting with the Ranbauble flag. This is an easy design to recreate. All you need is blue, white, red, yellow and black. To start off, you're going to get your blue and red clay and form them into the stripes of the flag. Be careful of how big you make them because you don't want to make it too big that it's heavy. And then once you've done that, make your white stripe, but only fill half of the way up. Why? Because you can scrape out the spare blue and red to make the semicircle to fit the black clay. Once you've done that, get your yellow clay and roll it super thin, and then cover around the black semicircle with it, as well as making a cross to put over it. Then once you've done that, get your excess red clay and make 2 crosses and put over the white bit. And then boom, you're done. For a final step, make sure you put a hole at the top of your flag so that you can actually put thread through it to hang it on your tree. Also, I did this backwards, ignore that, I messed up, whoops. Second, we're going to make a dream profile picture / stream blob, I don't know what to call it. Start off, you want to get your white clay and form it into the body shape. It's a really awkward shape to do, so take your time with shaping it until you're happy with how it turns out. Then you want to empty out the inside. This helps with it being taller and lighter. And then once you've done that, you want to do the head. I recommend doing it in more of an oval shape than a circle shape, but it's up to your personal preference. And then once you've molded that into a shape you like, get your black clay and start making the face. Now you want to use the tiniest amount of it, less than you probably think, to get the face looking accurate. And then you can just keep shaping it until you're happy with it. And then for an extra bonus step, you can use the rest of your black clay to make an outline the head and body to make it look like it's been drawn. And then there is your completed dream block. Then for an extra step, you can actually get some lime clay, roll that out into a circle square shape, and then you actually recreate Dream's actual profile picture. And then there you go. And then of course for a final step, make sure you put a hole at the top of it so you can actually use it as a decoration. Next up, we have our beloved Ranboo's memory book. This one was a cool one to make. So what you want to do is you want to get your black clay and roll it out into a rectangle shape. This is going to be the basis of your book. And then you want to get your white clay, fold it into a kind of smaller rectangle that fits inside your bigger rectangle. It's not like a Minecraft bed. Then you want to fold over that to make your actual book. It kind of looks like an Oreo a little bit, but it's on theme. Also, look how my book landed, that was so cool. And there you have it, there's the base of your book. Now you don't have to decorate it if you don't want to, but personally I did, so I got yellow, green and red and I made a little crown to put on it. This was really tedious to make and I'll say it was very annoying because you have these tiny amounts of it, but I think it's worth taking your time to make it how you like it. Here is footage of me struggling to cut the clay to make it small enough to fit on the crown, which kind of looks like a mini Lisa Simpson. When I finished the crown, I placed it in the middle higher bit. And then I used the excess white clay I had left over and made a little face to put underneath that. Then you have your memory book. Obviously you can change the design to how you like it, but this is how I wanted to do it. And of course, as a final step, make sure you put a hole at the top of it, and then set it aside. Our next design is Karl Jacob's book from Tales from the SMP. This was quite a cool one to do, but it's really fiddly, I'll say. So first off, what you want to do is the same thing as the memory book. Roll out your purple clay, form it into a rectangle, put your smaller rectangle on top as your little page. Again, should look like a little Minecraft bed, or kind of like a 2D Among Us character. I just noticed that. Anyway, you want to pull that over into a little book, and then there's your base. Now again, design it however you would like, but I decided just to do the little logo, which I'm going to say I've really struggled with. It looks more of a 6 than the logo, but we're not going to talk about it. To do that, all you need to do is roll out your blue clay and then kind of form it into the shape. It's okay if you don't get it because it is really thin, you have to roll it, but do your best to try and get the logo. Then for the little extra detail, I added some gold to the corners because it looked quite cool, and then yeah, there's your finished design. It looks quite cool with the memory book as well. Also, make sure you put a hole at the top of it as well. Our next tutorial is for the discs. These were an iconic part of the disc war, which was such a good era of the SMP. Actually, comment below, what was your favourite era of the SMP? I think my favourite, it has to be the Manberg disc war era, because that's the one that I remember watching the most. Anyway, all you want to do for the discs is roll out grey clay into a circle, then just put a hole in the middle, and then put your choice of the colour on the inside. This is the same for both cat and melohi, except for melohi you gotta add the extra white stripes on top. And then, I actually didn't put a hole in this one, I instead just used the actual disc as that. You can actually do this for any Minecraft disc if you would like, if you prefer to do one for maybe Skull or Chirp. You can just change the colours out to however you want them. Also, if you actually do make any of these designs, please tag me on Instagram or Twitter or wherever, because I really want to see them, because this would be so cool for people to actually make. And if you come up with your own designs as well, then yeah, tag me in them too, because I really want to see them, because I'd love to see what people make. And here are both the final products. I think they turned out pretty well. I think I could probably improve melohi a bit better though. And for our final tutorial, we have Jack Manifold's 3D glasses. Now, there are a lot of Jack Manifold toys out there, so I thought I'd make one for you guys. All you need for this one is blue, red and white, and I just started off with getting white clay and forming it into the 3D glasses shape. It's a really specific shape, and I didn't really do it very accurately, but you kind of either do it square like traditionally, or you can make it more of a glasses shape. It's up to you. And then once you've done that, just get your blue and red and put them on top. I don't think the order really matters. I'm not actually entirely sure, but I just did it in the order that I did. And then yeah, there's my final product. And then to finish off, put a hole right at the top of it. And then there you go. And that finishes all the ones that I made. They turned out great, but I actually made a bunch more off camera. And yeah, I just made a quick compilation of them, so here they are. Quackety's poker chip from Las Nevadas. A Your Tommy and Your Turbo compass that actually point to each other. The Kanoko Kingdom and the Snowchester flag. A little mini bit of TNT, this was so hard to get right. A Totem of Undying, aka Foolish Jr. Both of George Not Bound as well as Sapnap, so you can have the entire dream team. The Manberg flag, of course. I recreated Karl's hoodie as well. This is my best one, Techno's mask from Sadis's Animatics. This one turned out so well and I'm so proud of it. And then to finish off, a tiny little Baubleza hat. This looks so cool as well, I'm happy with this one. So yeah, there are all the designs I made overall. I'm really happy with how it turned out. And yeah, but obviously they're not done yet, you gotta cook them. Yep, you should. If it's polymer clay, you should cook them. But first, you gotta put them on a tray with greaseproof paper. This will definitely help when you have to take them out the oven to take them off. Then, once you've done that, you have to set them in the oven at about 110 degrees for 10 minutes. I think that's 230 Fahrenheit, don't hold me to that. I recommend doing it from like 5 to 10 minutes-ish, probably not longer, because if you leave them in for too long, the colour starts to fade. And yeah, here are all of mine after they've been baked. Then I just had a bit of string around it, and yeah, there are the finished designs. But next up, we have the baubles. Also ignore that everything around me is like from a day before. Anyway, look at the baubles, there's 3 of them, and you can see my reflection in it, that's very cool. For the baubles, all you needed was some acrylic paints. I just had a set of like rainbow colours, which I wouldn't suggest. I would suggest getting pre-mixed paints. And yeah, also have a towel to make sure that you don't get any paint on your desk. The first bauble we're making is a Ranbauble or a baubleboo, depends what you call it, but basically a Ranboo themed bauble. This one was quite a good one to make. I would say a big tip for this is be patient. Paint takes a while to dry. But anyway, I'm starting off by painting the entire bauble white. This took a while to make sure that I got right. And then once I did that, I got some sellotape. I'd recommend poster tape, but I didn't have that, and put that around the edge. This was going to be so when you paint the black side on, when you take the tape off, you have like a super clean edge and it looks really cool. And then I just painted that side black. Also, if you feel like you've done it the wrong side and like you're panicking, literally just flip the bauble around. I did that at one point because I thought I did it backwards and realised, oh never mind, I can do that. And then you want to put that aside to dry, and while it's drying we're going to work on the crown. Let's go. If the crap it's for it, you know. Anyway, okay, so you want to get a spare bauble and like measure out how long you need, and then just mark it on your paper. And also think about how tall you want to make it. And then once you've done that, just start marking out the base of the crown. And then you want to do the little the little bits that stick up. I did mine square, like, you know, Minecraft in it. Anyway, I kind of eyeballed mine. I didn't use a ruler. If you want to, you can do. And then once you've done that, you just want to go cut that out. Also, I recommend looking it on the bauble just to see where it'll fit, just so you know for later on. And then once you've done that, you're gonna go paint it. I didn't have any actual gold paint, so I used like the closest I had, and it looks pretty decent, so I just painted that. And then once I had finished that, I just left it side to dry. It looks quite cool. I'm happy with how it turned out. Next up, I'm gonna get some jewels to stick on the crown. Now I only had blue ones, so instead to fix that, I painted some red and green to actually match the image. But you can do it however you like, whether you want to like draw them on or stick them on with actual correct coloured gems, you can do. And by the time you sorted out the gems, the bauble should be dry now, and then what you want to do is you want to take off the tape, which now you can see is really satisfying. You can see like a really clean line. However, as you can see on mine, it did rip a lot of white paint off. If it does happen to you, that's completely fine. I just went over it with some more white paint and just touched up on it and made sure that it was nice and clean. Then once I've done that, I just left it to dry again, and now the crown should be dry. So now you want to stick on those gems that you made before and just stick them on top. I just used some clear PVA glue for this, but Pritt sticks and stuff like that should work as well. Get your bauble back, now it should be dry again. And now it's time to actually add the face on. Now, I'm no expert with drawing, so I did my best, and I used a lot of like references that I just saw on Twitter and stuff. So what I did is, I got red and green for the eyes, obviously, and did like an eye shape. If you're not very good with like doing an eye shape, that's completely fine. You could just do it in your style and however you like, but I tried to make it into an eye shape. And once I had the base done, I left that to dry for a little bit. And then made a slightly lighter colour and did like pupils in the middle. And then to finish, I had a little like white streak to the side of it to like give it like a shine, because I saw that a lot of like artists did that. And I think it turned out quite cool. And for a final detail, you can add some little grey spots on the white side. And now your main base should be completely finished. And then of course we need to add the crown that you've made before to this. I struggled quite a lot with getting this on. I would honestly recommend using a hot glue gun if you had that available, but I didn't at the time, so I just used the PVA I used before. I kind of lined it out to see where I wanted it to go, and then once I was happy with it, I got the PVA glue around the edges of it, and I just tried to stick it on. It was quite difficult and I couldn't actually film it, but I managed to get it on the end. I recommend crossing over the back, it really helps because it's quite hard to make it stand up without like hot glue gun. And there you have it. There's your finished Ranbauble or baubleboo, whatever you'd like to call it. Actually comment below which one it should be. Yeah, this one was really fun to make and I love how it turned out. Ranbauble, my beloved. Yeah, now that we finished that, we're going to put that to one side and we're going to work on our next bauble. But for this one, I wanted to make more of a simpler design because the other one had a lot going on. So for this one, I'm recreating Karl Jacobs' logo. Now this was quite a difficult one because I struggled to even make this pattern on the little clay hoodie I did before, and I struggled with the paint, but I managed to get it in the end. So what you want to do is you want to start with your purple. Now I had to work with my rainbow colours, so I had to pre-mix all of the paints, and I really struggled to get the right shades for these. So I recommend if you want to make this one, get pre-mixed paints because it's so much easier and you don't have to sit and mix purple for like 10 minutes, which I ended up having to do. Mine all ended up being too dark, so just don't mind that. And then I started with just painting the whole base of the purple that I tried to make. And then once I did that, I just left it to dry. And once it had dried, I put it back, and I got a bit of paper and I practiced drawing the logo over and over again just so that I made sure I had the shape ready. And then I got my blue, it's like turquoise paint, I think, and just drew the logo on. Now I think I made mine a bit too long, and it kind of, you can't really see the end of it, but I think it turned out pretty well. I think for an extra detail, what would be nice if you had like some metallic paint to maybe add like some metallic details to the actual logo itself. I think that would look quite cool. Or some glitter. Glitter would be cool. Now I wish I had like so much stuff for these, but with COVID and Christmas I wasn't able to like go out and buy some stuff for these. But yeah, here is your finished product. And for our final bauble, we are going to be making a Baubleza. That is such a mouthful to say, but I know how much Phil's chat make puns with Z at the end of it, so I thought this would be a cool one to do. Now for this one, I started off with painting the little like t-shirt on underneath. Now I didn't really know what design to make this because I know a lot of artists use different designs and references for this. So I kind of came up with my own design while combining a few elements from other artists and cosplayers. Once I'd finished painting the base t-shirt on, I painted the green on top to be like the kimono. And this took a while, that for some reason my paint strokes started showing up a lot, so it took a while to have a lot of coats of paint on for them to be hidden. But once I finished that, I was happy with how it turned out. Then I added a little hardcore necklace to it, because I saw a lot of people incorporated the hardcore heart into the design. I do go over this before the final show off, so bear that in mind with how it is now. And then I decided that I was going to add some elytra wings to this. I based the design of this off like angel baubles I saw, and I thought it'd be quite cool to have some elytra wings for the back of the bauble. So what I did is I got some spare card left over from the crown and marked out the shape of the wings. It's kind of like a love heart a bit, but upside down. And then once I did that, I got some grey paint and painted over it, and then put it aside to dry. Once one side had dried, I flipped it over and painted the inside bit a slightly darker shade to try and match what the elytra looked like in game. Once that side had dried as well, I decided to stick it onto the back with using the PVA glue again. It was quite hard to get even, so I recommend moving it around until you're happy with how it is. But once you're happy with the position, leave it to dry. And then after that's finished to dry, you have finally finished your Baubleza. It sounds more like a Pokemon now that I think about it, but yeah, here it is. I'm really happy how this one turned out as well. And now with all the decorations done, it's time for a final show off.
I gave you my heart, but the very next day you gave it away. This year, to save me from tears, I'll give it to someone special. Last Christmas, I gave you my heart, but the very next day you gave it away. This year, to save me from tears.
Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. If you actually do make any of these designs, tag me on both Instagram and Twitter. The links are in the description. And I'm just so happy that I finally finished this video. And also Merry Christmas. I didn't intend this to go up on Christmas, but it has. And obviously since it is Christmas, it's a bit too late to be doing this. But however, any of the designs here can be easily made into like keychains, bracelets, necklaces, or you can even just make baubles for whenever you want. Listen. However, here are some more videos you can go watch. I've got some cosplay vlogs you could go watch, as well as some Minecraft videos if you enjoy them. I hope you enjoyed this, and make sure to subscribe. See ya!